Welcome to the Creative Den. Today, I'm going to show you every piece of equipment that I have in this room that I use for my podcast setup, for my virtual desk setup, for my short form setup. So if you are in the market of buying gear and equipment for your home studio, you can literally copy this video, paste it according to your budget, of course. And also in the description below, if you just click the link to the gear doc, you'll be able to get every link that I have and where I purchased everything from, and you'll be able to access that as well. So let's get into it. So I'm gonna tell you a quick story on how we acquired all this and got this space. I remember 2023, July of 2023, my wife was about 6 to 7 months pregnant, and she posed this question: what if we could buy a house in the next 2 months? I was like, what? So then I started looking, at places and spaces from our old house to here, because we were running out of space and our family was growing. This was our second baby, right? And so looking, and when we came into this house specifically, and I walked into this 12 by 10 room, I knew that this was the house for us. This was the space. This is where I was gonna build the content studio, the podcast studio, the desk setup. This was the spot for it. And so we walked into this house, and the crazy part was we went on contract in this house to purchase it at the same day that we went on contract to sell our old house. That doesn't happen just randomly, right? And so we knew that this was the space for us. So I'm gonna show you. So let's get right into the podcast setup, right? So we're here at the podcast setup. I want to start with just the setting first, because if you do not have a set, you don't have anything. So I decided to go with this black walls, this black slat, just because I knew I wanted something neutral. I didn't like the brown that usually goes with it. So I wanted the black just to get everything else to pop out. So we went with that for that. We got some plants in the back. Put up this little logo, the Creative Den. We talked about the space being, it's a den, it's a place where I create. The name of my company is called Creative Collection. And so I decided to name this spot the Creative Den. And that's what we created, and this is what the den is for, right? So more on the setting. I decided to get the shelf, right? Where I have my red Komodo X, just for client work and doing that, and some cine lenses that go with it, with a DZO film lens. And then this is funny. We just got this. We went to a farmer's market, and there's this scent. And this scent specifically, it's called the Caramel Crunch. So it smells like caramel in here, and it's really good. And I think this is the scent for the Creative Den. And so it's really cool. And then here I just have some more lenses, some crazy lenses, cine lenses, 16 to 35 lens. This was one of my first lenses that I bought that was really expensive. It's about $2,500 or so. And then I have this disposable lens for just random stuff, right? And then a 4mm lens. This is super wide. And I just put it there because I don't use it all the time, but I just have it there. Some books, candles. This is my FX3 that I use for majority of my client work. And so I just kind of store it here and just have this as part of the set of the podcast, right? And then we decided to get this table next. From having this table, we've actually been able to shoot a 3-person pod a lot more comfortably than I could before. And I even see a way to do a 4-person pod on this table alone. So it's really cool to have this in this room, right? So that's the set. Again, if you don't have a set, you don't have a space. So now moving on to the lighting setup for the podcast specifically. So I'm gonna show you this huge dome that we have here. This is the Impact Dome. It's a 60-inch dome, light dome. And it's really soft lighting. I wanted a big source of light because I didn't want any harsh lighting. I just wanted some soft lighting. And it is powered by the Amaran 100D. You could actually pan up, that way they could take a look if you want to go look up there. So that's the Amaran 100D. That light is probably at, 30%, but because of how wide this is, it gives us enough light for the podcast. And then everything is held by this Varipole. going through from one side of the room to the other side of the room. And that's what is helping us hold the light in place. And then we have like a support system for the light, a clamp, right? That is just clamping the light onto the very pole. I have it coming straight down with the softbox and the grid. And that's the lighting system here for the podcast. And of course, we have this backlights. This is the Amaran 22C. And what this is helping us do is give us a kicker, either for the back, for the edge light. It separates us from the background. That's what a backlight helps you to do. This is the key light, and then this is the backlight. And it just separates you. I have one here, and then I have one on the corner on the shelf, just right over there. So those are the lights. And then I'm gonna move to the mic, okay? This is the Rode Pod mic. You can use this as a USB-C to connect directly to your laptop, but I decided to go with the XLR because I believe it gets you a cleaner sound to go to the XLR, and I'll show you where it's going to later on. But for now, the Rode Pod mics, I got the specific ones because I just like the black color. It just looks cool. There's a red one, there's a white one, there's a bunch of colors now that you can get with it. And then I have this arm, the specific arm. This is the IX Tech. It's a low profile arm because of how low it is. Before, when we started, it was this huge arm that would come up this way and stick out, and it usually just got all over the place. So I switched them out for this low profile arm. So I have one person sitting here, I have one other person sitting here. You just bring it up and we're ready to shoot a podcast. You know, let me actually sit down so you can see what the frame looks like. So typically I'll sit like this and I'll bring this out and I'm ready to rock and roll, you know? And that's what the podcast is. Then I have this books right here just for some more decor stuff. It says work hard, you know, dream big and stay positive. So I love those sayings and that's what we do, you know? So this is what we have here for the podcast setup. Again, if you click the link in the description, you'll be able to get the gear dock with every piece of equipment that I've mentioned so far. And now moving on to the cameras. I know that's why a lot of people think it's all about the cameras, right? So when we're shooting the podcast, I use the FX30 for the podcast on both angles, right? This is the first angle for the guest typically. So this is the FX30 with the Sony 35mm f1.4. So that f1.4 number helps keeps the background blurry and keeps the subject really sharp and clean, and then everything else is kind of like blurred out. That's how you get that number. The lower that number is, the more blurry it gets. So this is what we're running, you know, with it. And then I have a second angle that is here, same camera, just a little bit rigged out because I use this, you know, on my, just the jobs that I go to, right? So the FX30, and I have the 50mm 1.2, and then I have it connected to this V-mount battery. If I could take it out, V-mount battery, and it powers it. This thing could go all day, basically. So we're filming podcasts, multiple podcasts, and you could do multiple in one sitting. This angle though, I have it connected to this, it's called a dummy battery. So if you don't, you know, need like a rig setup like this, but you want like a dummy battery, this is like the regular battery that just goes into the space and then just plugs right into the power plug. And that's how you get this camera. And then we have powered by this tripod, the small rig Tribex potato jet. And the reason I went with this, just check this out. It goes up easily, just one squeeze, and then it goes down easily. And that's wonderful. I love that aspect of it. Same thing with this one. This is a smaller version of it, but it's also small rig. Goes up, sets to wherever we want it. It goes down and sets to wherever we want it. So this is the entire podcast setup in this studio. Now I'm gonna show you my virtual desk setup. And I call it virtual because I'm able to get on Zoom meetings. I'm able to record virtual podcasts on here. It's all set up for that. So I'm gonna break it down and show you everything that is part of the virtual desk setup. So first of all, starting with the audio and mic. This mic is the Shure SM7B. It's a different mic from what I use for my podcast. And I still have the same low profile arm. Again, coming up, I usually will have a chair right here and I'm sitting right here and just talking, so that's what we have with the mic. Now I'm gonna show you where everything goes to, from mic, from my podcast setup, as well as the desk setup. It all goes in here. This is the Rodecaster Pro. This is the second version, Mark II. So I have this mic coming into number 3. That's just how I have it set up. And then I have my podcast mic coming into 1 and 2. I'm able to record internally with a micro SD card in the back of it. And yeah, so that's what that is. And I'm connecting everything with the XLR cable. Again, check out the gear doc. You could download that and just save it, actually, because I actually update it as I buy more things into the studio. You'll be able to see what we have here. Moving on, I have the studio monitors. I've always enjoyed using a studio monitor instead of just headphones or just whatever's coming out of my laptop. So that's why I have this. This is the PreSonus Aries 3.5. It's a smaller version. They have the 3.5, they have the 4.5. I think they have the 5.5 as well. And I just love the clean sound that comes from the speakers and these monitors. And so that's why I have it here. There are 2 of them. There's one here and then there's one back there. And I have this guy. This is for like overhead desk set. Like if I wanted to film anything overhead, I could literally pop my camera right here and just shoot like something overhead real quick. So I just have it connected to the desk as well. All right, so moving on to the lighting system for this. So same thing, I have a Varipole here, Varipole support system. It comes in 2 packs when you buy them from B&H. So I've had this for years and I had them sitting down for a little bit because I used to do photography. They're really for photography and you could hang up like backgrounds and stuff, but I repurpose them and I use it for this. So this is the support system. And then I have an Amaran 60D with a GMV lantern, softbox. And what that light specifically does is just to give it like some room light, And I'm going to turn it off real quick. That way you can see exactly what that light is actually doing and how powerful a small light like that is doing. So I'm turned off. Big difference, right? Turn it back on. So it's light giving the entire room some kind of light source before we have more directional light. So the next directional light, again, remember I told you there's a chair here and I'm sitting here and I have this light coming at me. This is the Amaran Verge. And I have it with the grid. The reason I have it with the grid is so that the light doesn't spill out so much. I want it to be directional. I want it to be controlled. That's why I have the grid here. That's why I have the grid for the podcast as well. So that's the light setup for this desktop. And then the podcast light in my back act as a backlight. So again, when I set up this room, I thought about how everything is positioned. Again, I've had 4 different iterations of what this room looks like. This is what I've landed on for now. And this has been the longest standing one so far. So that's the light setup. Now let's move to the camera. So I have a FX30, same FX30s that I use for my podcast. And now you may be wondering, what is this thing in front of the camera? I'm just gonna take that off. That's the lens I was talking about. So you screw this on. This is the Elgato teleprompter. But it isn't just a regular teleprompter. It acts as a third display for my laptop. So it displays, let's say I'm having a Zoom call, right? And I'm looking at my camera, I could see who I'm talking to right on display. And that's why I love using that. So it feels like I'm actually talking to them and connecting with them rather than looking up on my laptop and trying to talk to someone down here, looking up and down, I just have it kind of like set up where I'm just looking straight at the person and I'm able to talk to them. So that's why I love the Elgato. And then on the bottom, I have the pedal, Elgato pedal. So if you wanted to play something, you could just click the middle and it goes. If you wanted to go back because you made a mistake, you could reverse and go back. You could pause it, or you could go forward and go forward. And this is working with the Elgato screen, and as a teleprompter, it's just nice to have. So I have 3 different displays, right? My laptop, the Elgato screen, and then this is the LG 34 ultra wide display. And I love this because I could literally put 3 different things on here as I'm working. I could be editing, I could be watching something at the same time, or I could display whoever I'm looking at, my notes, whatever it is, right? That's why I like this LG 34-inch ultra wide display. And everything is coming out from this workhorse. This is the MacBook Pro. I believe this is the M1. I got this, and then the M2 came out like 3 weeks after. And I was like, dang it. But it's still pretty fast, you know, years later, still using it. I have no complaints. That is everything for my desk setup. And yeah, now we're gonna move to short form content. Typically I use the A7 IV, which is what we're filming on right now. It's the A7 IV with either the 35mm, which I showed you earlier, or the 50mm, which I also showed you earlier. So those are the 2 lenses and the camera that I use for my short form content as well as vertical videos. Now I use this specific tripod. This is the very first tripod that I ever got in 2017 when I started this video venture, 2016, 2017. And this is the Manfrotto 290 Extra. And it has gone with me, you know, on many shoots. I used to use it for photography, product photography, but now I use it for my short form content. And the only reason I used it for my short form content is because when I filmed last with it vertically, this just never came back up. So I've just kind of kept it like that. So it's now just angled for vertical content, and I just slide in my camera right in there, and we're ready to go. So sometimes I'll have this here with this setting, kind of like my desk in the back with this extra black slats that I had. After I set it up for my podcast, I had some extra black slats, so I put it right here. That way I have this angle, you know, to shoot short form content. Another angle that I found and discovered just lately was when I'm doing virtual podcast as well as meetings with other people, I would set up my camera outside just on the other side of this window, of this little window that is open, and I'm able to shoot short form content from that angle with my 50mm coming this way at me with all this in the background. So it looks really clean. So when I'm shooting Instagram content, this is what this looks like. And even if I flip the camera vertically right now, this is what the vertical would look like. And so I just love this angle because you have the back, you have that light, you have everything behind me as my laptop screen goes off, and now it's back on. So, and I'll show you the other angle. So remember I said podcast, this is what this looks like. We could shoot it from multiple different takes. From that angle, this is what this looks like as well. And then I'll show you the last angle real quick. So this is this other angle, having a conversation. You can make it vertical, you can keep it horizontal. And so you just have multiple angles in this place that look well, that look clean, and that we could use for different types of content. So that's why I love this space. And then the mic that I use for short form content is this mic that I'm using right now. This is the Hollyland Lark M2S, and it's just a clean mic. I love the way it looks. It's so small, you can't even notice that it is there. And I just love the kind of quality that it produces out. And so I use this mic for my short form content because it's easy to just plug right into the camera and just use it. Now, if you're doing podcasts, of course you can use this mic if you can't get like a mic like this. So there's ways that you could tailor everything that I've talked about today to actually fit your content, your budget, and everything that you are doing. It's not about what I've built. I'm able to put all this together because I have a video background. That's what I do. I have a video agency, you know, so I'm able to think through this angle could be cool for this angle could be cool for this, and I've been able to put this all into multiple steps that even my podcast setting could also become a vertical setup if I wanted to, both angles. And that's how I've been able to set up this little 12 by 10 room, and we're in here enjoying it, making content, and just filming, and it's been fun. So thank you for sticking by. Again, grab the gear doc in the link in the description below if you like to just continue to see what we've updated with our gear setup. And thank you for rocking with us. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment below on how you're gonna set up your own home studio, or if anything in this video actually resonated well with you. So until next time, peace.